finally, after flashing that up for like the past stream or two, you understand the meaning of Frank the Shark. If you don't, watch the Halloween video. You might have some fun or something. Anyway, yep, it's the first stream of the month, which means it's time to react to the last stream of the month and plus anything else that's happening. The usual hangout as it is, with myself actually introducing along with AJ and Owen. As oh, feels like we're sort of getting alright, I just need to tweak settings a little bit and whatever. But yeah, it seems like we're going alright. Right, yeah, so there we go. Yeah, the stream bit rate's a bit more controlled for you guys. Yeah, I want to say. Trying to think if a huge amount's happened in the week since we actually did the last, predictions. I guess the only thing is, I think we've now got as many active Universal Mummy films now as we have people on this prediction. Because we've got whatever the Mummy film that's supposed to be coming out next year is, and then the one that was called The Mummy but then isn't, from like Lee Cronin or whatever, that's got a different name. And now today, oh, Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz are coming back for a fourth one. So that's gonna really be continuity confusing if it was like, so which is the actual Mummy?
Just as long as he gets his cup of coffee, everything will be okay.
True. Very true. Oh, Bronson White Wolf in chat. I just subscribed to the channel. Do you have any thoughts on a third installment for either Beetlejuice or Hocus Pocus? Yeah, straight in with a question, just because new subscriber. Hello there, Bronson.
Welcome, Bronson.
I know there actually were some people that dug Hocus Pocus 2.
Yeah.
I wasn't one of them. So I'm not sure if I have the confidence that the thing that does excite me is that I guess Thora Birch wants to be in it, which is really cool. But the second one kind of would really shake my confidence on what else they would do. Beetlejuice, I think, is interesting because I've been talking to a lot of people lately that really didn't like the second one.
Yeah.
And I think the second one has a lot of issues, but I still think it's okay. I just think the main issue with it is that it felt like they used all their possible plot lines already in the second movie. Because the second movie has so much going on.
Not many directions to go from here.
But I'm curious. I'd be more curious about it than I would a third Hocus Pocus, probably. But yeah, because there's still a lot of insanity in the second Beetlejuice. Like there's still like a flicker of something, and there was a lot of stuff in it I did really like. It was just way overloaded, which was the pretty common criticism of it. But I still got something out of the second Beetlejuice, but I can't say that so much about the second Hocus Pocus, so my confidence is a little lower in that, but we'll see what happens, I guess.
Just trying to double check, considering how practically every movie cinema under the sun in the UK this week that does it is having a mystery screening, but everyone's going, it's not that much of a mystery because you're literally listing the runtime in one of them and it only fits a certain film. Are they doing the equivalent, like special early / mystery screenings of Running Man for you guys this weekend?
Ooh, no, I've not been made informed of this.
Yeah, like
Right now.
practically every mate, well, at least Vu and Odeon and Omniplex, who kind of took over from Empire, are doing Saturday evening mystery screenings. The added complication to that, though, is practically all of them also have Running Man as a film that they can pre-order to see anyway, which isn't usually how the mystery screenings go, because usually the mystery ones, it's one that nobody sort of can book, because like if the mystery screening does turn out to be it, then if they're going to see it anyway the following week, kind of defeats the purpose, right? That seems an intriguing strategy.
Like, go ahead, AJ. Looks like you wanted to say something.
I feel like you tell me, because I haven't gone to them since like their second one because they started getting too crowded for me. But I remember
pretty much every time.
But I know you've told me that a lot of them end up being movies that already have tickets on sale, and they used to avoid that.
Right.
Are they just doing that now, or it seems like kind of a bit of a conflict thing? If
Well, it's fun because they did a live, what, not live, I guess you would say it was taped, but still. They did a showing of Nuremberg with a Q&A that was the same day that the Secret movie was. And the Secret movie ended up being Christie, which I liked. But I like my boxing movies. Everybody knows that.
yeah.
There is another secret screening coming up this Monday. Could be anything. Options seem to be Eternity, which I'm looking forward to. I saw a trailer for it again yesterday on, I think it was on If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. Rental Family, which I'm still getting more interested in the more trailers I see about Not Mr. Sparkle, Brandon Fraser. And Now You See Me, Now You Don't, which I think might be too high profile for a secret screening. However, Gladiator 2 tells me that there could be a precedent broken again.
I remember when you told me you saw Gladiator 2 that way, and our response is like, "Whoa, are they gonna get bigger from now on?" And they never did again.
They've been good. I've not really walked out of one I haven't enjoyed. The only one I didn't go see was Shelby Oaks because I'm not doing that. But if you know, you know. The thing is, next week they're doing one as well, and it looks like it's going to be Sizu's sequel. Which, yes, please.
Oh yeah.
I cannot wait to see this movie.
Wasn't that originally supposed to come out last month?
I believe so. But with Eternity, Rental Family, and Now You See Me, Now You Don't, I do not go wrong with any of those. So I'm excited for any of them.
I assume.
I'm guessing that's why they're probably doing it here for Running Man, because Now You See Me, Now You Don't probably its biggest competition, at least in terms of UK release, which is supposed to be the same week. But in that respect, you can pre-book Running Man. You can't for Now You See Me, despite all the publicity I'm seeing for it and God knows how many Twitch adverts right now.
It might end up being, I think Running Man is next week or the week after. I don't remember off the top of my head. I know it's November.
Yeah, it's November 14th, I believe. It's the same here as it is for you guys.
Okay, that's right.
Because I think there was at one point I think it got bumped a week, didn't it? Where it was like next week originally.
That sounds right.
But I guess they didn't want it to go head to head with Predator.
There was a trailer on the movie that I just literally got out of like 45 minutes ago. So
I assume at some point in this live we're gonna talk about If I Had Legs I'd Kick You in Begonia.
Yeah, we are 100%.
We won't spoil anything, but there's also, it feels like a lot to say. But
I
also,
mean, we could talk about as well, but I think that's up to you.
I'm not sure what that would be.
Well, I had to go across town to see something, and I only watch movies that I have to see because I have to see them. So I have just been graced with the presence of Guillermo del Toro about 45 minutes ago.
Wow. So I've just noticed they're going that head to head. Running Man and Now You See Me, Now You Don't.
Oh, it's the same week. That's right.
They're both opening here early. Practically on the same day. Running Man does have sort of an open captioned early screening on next Tuesday, the 11th. But if you take that out, both properly open on the 12th, 2 days ahead of the official release. So, it's not like one is opening on the Friday and sort of taking the screens away from the other. They're both taking the screens off each other. Starting early, so it'll be 5-day box office for those when they report the first figures, like 17th of November-ish. So they're actually, it's not one trying to jump the other. They're literally just, God knows how many other screenings are going to be that day. Bronson also saying, it's weird seeing Josie with her username because I guess they've changed YouTube chat now. Toy Story 5 coming out in 26, Shrek 5 now coming in 2027, with everybody all reprising their roles in each film. Although Bronson says, I'm not sure about Banderas reprising his role as Puss in Boots for Shrek 5. I mean, it says a lot that he became so iconic from Shrek 2 that he's basically now just become part of the furniture, if you will, for the franchise. But at the same time, I can't think of who else you stick in the role, to be fair. Because you can't have somebody that sounds like Antonio Banderas. Plus, Antonio Banderas seems to be busy anyway. With God knows what. The amount of children's films that he's been in the past couple of years is, like, quite big. I was trying to quickly see if I can get the... No, I don't want to awards and certain nominations. I want his filmography.
Also, was it Uncharted and The Dial of Destiny he was in? Both? And they just kind of, like, threw him away, especially Uncharted. It's like, by the way, this is the most I've thought about Uncharted since it came out. Just now.
Yeah, Uncharted. All since let's say 2020, he was obviously the voice of one of the things in Doolittle. I can't remember which one. Uncharted, Puss in Boots, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and of course, the one that I wanted to like more.
Yeah.
Paddington in Peru.
Such a letdown.
Completely forgot Paddington in Peru. That was just earlier this year too, wasn't it? For us.
Yeah.
Well, Paddington's on Broadway now, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, what I've seen of at least the West End broadcast of what's his name from McFly, Tom Fletcher, has done in terms of adapting it as a musical, and the work that they've done in whoever's in the suit and then the second person that's off stage that basically operates the animatronics of Paddington's face is like really incredible.
Like Avenue Q.
It should sort of get a craft. I don't think they do like that too many craft nominations in terms of like the West End Awards or anything like that, which probably will get adapted into the Tonys because if it's good enough over here, it'll probably get the attention over there because English culture. Josie says, "Hey guys, I'll chime in just a bit. I was spending time with my cousins."
No worries.
Bronson now coming in with top 3 least favorite Adam Sandler films that aren't Jack and Jill.
You know what's funny about that?
Mm-hmm.
Is I could probably give you 3 off the top of my head, and none of them would have been Jack and Jill anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't. By the way, I don't like how that sounds. I don't like Jack and Jill or anything, but I actually think he has worse movies. There's one movie that I guess a lot of people like that I think is a bottom 3 of his, and that's Just Go With It.
Mm.
I don't know, just something about that movie I despise to my core. And certainly The Ridiculous Six would be there.
Yeah, that was going to be one of at least my 3.
I don't want to be cliche and say Going Overboard. I want to think of another third one. But Just Go With It and Ridiculous Six are easily like the first 2 that come to mind.
I trying to look at it.
I think this is another one that has a kind of a weird set of fans. I really hated Sandy Wexler a lot. And I
See
don't know.
that?
I think it's if I remember correctly, that's also the one that's like really fucking long for no reason.
So the thing is, since you're new to the channel, you would know this, or maybe you have been lurking for a while and you just found us. Either way, it doesn't matter. I will stress that I don't like to stream. I don't. I hate streaming. Streaming annoys me. It's the reason why it's impossible to watch the animated features every year at the Oscars.
Right.
I don't even bother anymore.
Yeah, so you've missed like his last 10 movies that aren't Uncut Gem.
That being said, anything that Sandler's done with Netflix, aside from Happy Gilmore 2, I have not seen. So a lot of these contenders, sight unseen for me.
I really feel like there's one I'm forgetting that's like kind of obvious. I guess a lot of people like to watch it around this time of year. I really hated Hubie Halloween when it came out, but I guess it has a lot of fans too. I don't know if I need to, as somebody that loves Halloween, I don't know if I need to go back to it and see for sure, but
Then you have stuff we have to defend on here and have defended on here, like to a lesser extent, Funny People, which is phenomenal, but not enough people like it. And the movie we always have to defend is Pixels.
yeah. Also, a weird amount of people hate Little Nicky.
Yeah.
I love Little Nicky.
Mentioned in the same thing that Bronson said right afterwards.
Yeah, I don't get. Maybe it came out at just the right time for the age that I was, and we watched it so many times. But yeah, I don't think I could ever hate Little Nicky.
Yeah,
I didn't really enjoy Zookeeper, and then
Kevin
probably
James was a huge problem. I said that back in the day. I say it now.
And then
I want to bring his filmography up, but my computer's been running really slowly lately, and I feel like I'm gonna fuck everything up if I try.
I've got it right in front of me.
maybe you don't mess with the Zohan as well because it's like
Zohan's terrible.
yeah.
Yeah.
I hate Grown Ups.
Grown Ups 2 is significantly worse than Grown Ups 1.
Yeah.
But again, he's got like a whole new generation of fans, and we're basically trashing their classics, which is weird to me, but
True.
I'm trying to remember, didn't they just yeah. They've also just announced we are basically getting a Grown Ups 3 as well.
I got the Iggy from that from Swartzen himself on stage when I saw him at the Funny Bone.
Yeah, they're going to film it early next year.
A scary movie before from Marlon Wayans.
Yeah.
I'll be seeing Damon Jr. in a couple weeks.
I feel like there's one I could say for a third one that's not this, but as soon as you said Zoan, that's one that's always stood out to me. Is I only saw it that one time when it first came out, and I just really loathed it. So that could be.
Yeah, Bronson's free. I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry. Don't mess with the Zohan, and that's my boy. Oh God, I forgot that one.
Oh yeah. That's my boy's probably my third one. I completely forgot about it. I was probably trying to block it out.
Yeah.
that movie's. There are so many reasons that movie's so repulsive.
I probably forgot about it because I thought it wasn't him because I was probably getting it confused with Grandma's Boy that I know some people like and some people absolutely detest. So.
That movie's awesome, and I will not take questions.
That's what I say. You know, some people like it and some people don't.
I was gonna say, I'm sure there's people out there that hate Grandma's Boy. I've never met them.
No, neither have I. One day, somehow, some way, I will be asking Kevin Nash that question.
Oh God, hopefully he remembers
my favorite lines in that movie, without a doubt.
Although what I love, the biggest Kevin Nash thing that sort of comes
Magic
up
Mike?
for me in a lot of things now, and things that I'm for some reason seeing on my Twitter feed, is how his line in John Wick was basically actually code for he's not getting killed off, because in the way that he says I lost 60 pounds, it's basically hidden code to tell John Wick there's 60 people in there that you've got to kill.
I remember seeing the clip from the panel or whatever it was where he told that, and you could hear the audience go like, "Oh shit, I never realized."
Very true. Bronson's three dishonorable mentions are The Longest Yard remake, Anger Management, and Little Nicky.
I don't mind any of those.
Yeah, I like all three of them. I actually especially like Anger Management, actually.
So, I don't think we've ever told the story before.
I actually think, for me, Anger Management was probably the last movie of his that I would call his good run. I actually do like The Longest Yard, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Though I did just rewatch the original again last year, and it's, certainly superior and kind of taints what you might like about the remake, but I don't know, I still kind of like it anyway. I'm surprised by those and The Longest Yard from him. Little Nicky makes sense because Little Nicky's always had a lot of people that hate it.
So, we've never told this story on here before that I'm aware of. We've done this for years, so it's possible we have. So when I worked at the theater, there was a coworker of mine that was a very prominent extra in Anger Management. And every time I think about that movie, I always regress back to the baseball scene where he is and is impossible to miss.
I was gonna say, it was built up for a long time. Like, he's in this. Like, we have to find him somewhere, and we thought it was gonna be hard.
No, it's not.
He's right there.
I believe it was a yellow shirt, if I remember correctly.
It's when Sandler's walking away from Woody Harrelson. He's right there, very visible.
Wherever you are, Bob, that was for you.
Josie said, I had a great Halloween. I was a movie server. I wore the
saw
shirt
that.
and hat and everything.
I saw your time as a fun employee, Josie. Did you have fun?
then we get into the big
Let's
topic
go.
at hand. Saw Begonia today with my brother. It was brilliant. And then immediately followed it, I also saw If I Had Legs I'd Kick You, which I also loved. So now you guys can gush about that because I haven't got round to Begonia, even though it did open in, I think, it might have been I don't think it was at my local. It was at some of the ones that I could have travelled to. But If I Had Legs I'd Kick You, I don't think we're getting for a while, so. Gosh, guys.
Gushing's a strong word on my end.
Well, I'm guessing you enjoyed them both at least.
I do. I know I like Begonia, but I also feel like it's definitely a see it more than once movie.
Yeah.
Because your mind gets so preoccupied by is she or isn't she? And I'm sure there's details that I missed.
Yep.
But I did already allude to my feelings on If I Had Legs I'd Kick You in the prediction video, so I need to know where Owen's coming from with that one before we go into Begonia.
Before we go into Begonia, and we were talking about If I Had Legs I'd Kick You, it was weird. Before we get started, I'm going to just call this up as like a clerical error on my part. We have been calling If I Had Legs I'd Kick You the Conan O'Brien movie for a long time. So much so that in my mind, I was believing Conan was the one that wrote it. That is definitely not the case.
Nope.
I don't know why I thought this.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that came from. You do know who she is, though, right?
That name does not ring a bell for me whatsoever.
She's, I think, married to the guy that works with the Safdies. Their co-writer and co-editor.
Credits there. Now that makes sense.
Yeah, and you can tell it's like I saw somebody describe it as Uncut Gems for moms, and
that checks out.
But yeah, what I said in the prediction video was I was surprised by how much I was not into it.
I need you to elaborate a little bit on that now that I've seen the movie. Without giving anything away, of course. I want to know what disturbed you about the film. Well, obviously, it's
I was gonna say you saw the movie.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
I know. I'm aware.
But I'm usually I'm somebody that worships Uncut Gems.
I know.
Like that frenetic nature. Hold on. First of all, the frenetic nature like that is very hard to pull off the right way.
Right.
Which the Safdies have found since we're on the topic of them. But I think I have word choices in my head, but I don't want them to sound too harsh because I respect the movie. But one word that keeps popping in my head is in anything I say that might be negative, somebody else could say, oh, but that's a reason that it works.
Right.
So if I were to use the word that I don't really want to use, which is obnoxious, one might say, yeah, that's the idea. The idea is to feel like you're going insane.
You mean literally how the daughter is pretty much not seen until the absolute final possible chance you could see her?
Yeah, I knew about that going in because I'd watched a couple of panel discussions with Braunstein and Byrne and Conan and Christian Slater. And whenever Christian Slater they talked about the fact that the family is mostly unseen, including him.
Literally the officer to a gentleman moment when the door opens and there he is.
But that's an
I
interesting
forgot
there.
it was Christian Slater. I really did. And when the door opens, I was like, oh, wow, okay. That's where we're going.
And I felt like by watching those panels, I was kind of prepared, or at least I thought I was prepared for what the movie was.
No.
But yeah, it's just I think that's the only thing I can. That's why I kept saying in the prediction video was it's just not my thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not wanting to speak negatively of it. Like I don't think it's a bad movie. No. I just really didn't it just didn't click with me on any sort of personal level. I felt so removed from it.
So
So
we are going to flip this back to a much worse year in my life where I said the exact same thing about Beau is Afraid. Now we are even.
yeah, I guess this is your Beau is Afraid. That would make a lot
Yeah.
of sense.
And honestly, I'll say it right now. I think Conan's amazing in it. I love Conan's delivery. I think he was the perfect person to play the therapist.
I was especially impressed with the scene where her patient comes in and he has to tell the guy to leave.
Yes.
The way he could be so commanding like that in a pretty dramatic way.
Don't forget, I've seen that in person before. Remember the story?
I do. Weren't you at like some monument or something?
Yeah, truth be told, I met Conan O'Brien in Washington D.C. He was doing like remote for late night, and one of the members of the class with me yelled out, "Where's Andy? I want to grab his butt." Conan looks back at him and shoots him the most evil stare I've ever seen in my life, and I was like, "That's on screen now. What I saw in person is now something people can watch anytime they want."
I
Super-
would have
Got a
I
chance.
would have liked I would have liked more Conan in the movie, actually.
I would have liked a whole lot more Conan in the movie.
I was a little surprised. I knew he wasn't like, well, I knew he wasn't like a major, he was a supporting role, but his name is also next to Rose Byrne on the poster.
Right.
So I think I was expecting more Conan. But and yeah, I do love Rose Byrne, but yeah, I think that's just the thing is I just kind of felt removed from it when it's a movie where it's one of those movies where it's like if you feel like emotionally invested in it and her, you're gonna go for a ride.
Yeah.
But it's like I never got on the roller coaster, I guess.
It seems cliche to say this, but the definition of off-putting.
Yeah. But
Extreme
again,
definition of off-putting. I was very unnerved watching the movie. And it's great because when you have assigned seats in the theater, unlike I had earlier today, we'll talk about that later. When we have assigned seats in the theater and you see the map and you choose to actively sit near someone, number one, that drives me nuts. You know what you can do with your hat. Number two, the person was in the middle, and I watched him, and he didn't move, and he didn't react as all of this was going on. And I'm like, this is pretty effed up, to say the least. Especially, like, when she's, let's just say, taking matters into her own hands.
Mm.
And she almost kills A$AP Rocky, but that's beside the point.
a lot of knee and leg damage in both these movies.
And the movie I watched today, hello. Oscar Isaac on line one.
But yeah, I don't like I said, the thing that's tricky about this is anything negative you could say about it, somebody else could use as a positive.
Same thing I said about Beau is Afraid.
Which is very interesting. So I acknowledge that there's something very interesting with this movie, but I wasn't because I couldn't even get into like her performance. Like I was just so removed from everything. I was bummed out when I realized I wasn't going to be clicking with it.
It was kind of like how a lot of people took to bring her back. How there was so much doom and gloom, and like there was no silver lining at all in the movie.
There's some bleak shit this year.
Extremely. It is what 2025 deserves.
That's why we need movies like The Fucking Life of Chuck to be successful also. But
Rena likes it. Also sad, but very heartwarming same time.
Yeah, Bob Trevino's tricky in that area. It's got
Yeah.
both going on a lot.
Oh, hang on.
But
Now I need to double check.
now,
No, I'm pretty sure, because I don't know whether it even had a release over here. I need to double check. I think the Trevino film is. I've either missed it and it's literally just finished airing, like now, as we're doing this live, or it's on the Film 4 channel at least some point this week. So that's what I'm double checking, because the way you guys have talked about it, I'm like trying to sort of see whether I can fit it in the schedule.
make time.
They're currently showing Late Night with the Devil, so there we go.
Excellent.
Oh, there we go. Yep. Literally this time, 24 hours from now, roughly, the premiere of Bob Trevino Likes It.
So we will be discussing that, Ashley's opinion on Bob Trevino, next month on the Popcast Network.
As long as it stays with me, and I haven't passed out because I've got to work the next morning.
It's interesting about Rose Byrne as an Oscar contender, though. I definitely see many scenes in the movie specifically that reach out to me as an Oscar clip.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to work out whether it's an appropriate double bill, the Bob Trevino thing, considering right before it is the first Transporter film, and right after it is Deadpool 2.
A 1 out of 3 ain't bad. But yeah.
You see also what I mean, where it's like it feels like Rose Byrne could go either way. Either she's 100% getting nominated, or the movie's going to be too. But like I said, though, the movie's already got like so much behind it as far as acclaim goes. So I don't know if you could give it, I don't know if it has the it's too weird problem that some might run into typically as far as getting somebody nominated for them.
Well, it's weird you say that, because it's funny that we're bringing up the movie that I have in there right now for this performance, and we're about to talk about the movie that I didn't go for that also could take this spot away.
I think my Begonia predictions won't change after having seen it. I still think my theory is either Lanthimos gets nothing or Lanthimos gets everything as far as nominations go.
Jesse Plemons is incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
It's still a shame for him and how packed that category is.
Yeah.
But my problem with talking about Begonia is like, where do you start? And what's like, it's interesting that, oh my God, how do you say this without saying too much? Because what I'm talking about is what is saying too much. Because it feels like the movie keeps telling you, but it's not.
No.
So, Owen, do you want to take a stab?
I didn't know Alicia Silverstone was still working, number one.
Oh, yeah. I remember when she was added to the cast, because it's like, oh, okay. That's... Well, she keeps popping up occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if she's ever, like, had a full comeback, but she's been around.
Right.
And this was a very... When I heard she was in it, this was not a role I imagined.
No.
I thought it'd be a bit more... She's not in it much, but I kind of thought the role would be a bit more throwaway, but it's not. It's super, super crucial, despite her lack of screen time.
That's the best way to put it. It's extremely important. However, it's very there.
And dare I say, her quick scenes might be the most Lanthimos scenes in it.
Yeah.
The imagery
The way it's shot.
I'm just gonna be so vague because I don't want to say too much.
The dialogue is just out of this world.
The dialogue is basically 2 straight hours of going, did that person really just say that?
Yes.
Seems legit.
Yeah, in the best Lanthimos way. Tony McNamara stuff.
No.
It's much more straightforward, I guess you could say. I found it interesting that it's like there's so much and I mean this as a compliment, by the way. There's so much weird shit in it, as you would expect.
Mm.
But at its core, it's a pretty straightforward thriller.
Oh yeah.
It's like the structure of it. There's just weird shit going on in it.
I like the way that music is used in it. I think I think a notation in sound is like going to have to happen, and score for sure, because I love the music in Begonia.
What's great about Fendrix is that in any other movie he might be too bombastic.
Not this one.
In Lanthimos' world, there's nothing he was ever more suited for. This was like his fate to end up doing the score for Lanthimos.
Tires short of nothing but Jesse Plemons bicycling down the road from one battle after another. Someone create this now.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jesse Plemons on his bike in this is like watching Brad Pitt drive in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I love it. I
would just watch hours of this footage.
And I also,
especially in the more frantic moments, the way those are shot and the way the background is like flying by next to him and behind him. Yeah, I love that shit.
and a straight up shout out to the good old Don and his Reservoir Dogs get up.
Okay. Okay, so I said just now that gushing was a strong word. I also haven't had a chance to talk about this movie since I saw it. So there's a possibility I'm gonna fall in love with it while we're talking about it.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, also I feel like it's very important that it seems like it's certainly one of those movies that it's gonna need to be seen more than once.
Don reminds me of somebody that used to be on this network. He used to do Horror Nights videos with us. His name was James, and that's all I need to say to you right now.
If this James sees Begonia, I'm curious how he's gonna feel about you saying.
I don't think he's watching Begonia, good sir.
Okay.
Check the tapes.
And like, I mean, Stavros in this too. I mean, apparently he's been big stand up recently, but I know he has his detractors. But they get what they want, so it's okay.
That character did not go the direction I thought that character was going. Because there's a hint of what his character did in their first scene.
Right.
But that's not the way I took that when he said that.
Oh.
So that was yeah.
And
yeah, I don't the thing speaking of his character though, because when his character comes in again, it's especially when this was really taking off in this way.
Sure.
I think the thing I love the most is how it feels like a straightforward hostage thriller that we've seen before, just with all the Lanthimos weirdness in it, and the combination of something that we know and things where we have no idea where the fuck they're going or where the fuck they're coming from. The combination of that just works shockingly well.
The one thing, at least, though, as well for me, having looked over the plot synopsis and still sort of waiting to catch up on it, I figured with Lamphamos he might have tried to take a different route, possibly with the story.
Mm.
But it seems to be more direct an adaptation that I thought Lamphamos was going to do. As in the South Korean, I think it's South Korean, the film that it's based on.
Yeah, Save the Green Planet.
Plot-wise, at least for the ending, is pretty similar. To some extent.
I mean,
which I thought Lamphamos might try and cook something a bit crazier. Even though it's pretty crazy in itself. But
well, I mean, without going into Emma Stone, and we'll do that in a minute, I mean, I love the third act so much. I love how insane it gets. And I absolutely love the ending.
I can imagine another universe where I don't like the ending.
I can see that. It's funny because there is a scene that's in the trailer that is in the finale of the movie. Out of context, it makes no sense whatsoever. When you watch the movie, you wonder why they put it there.
And I don't know if this is saying. I guess this isn't saying too much because it's vague. I'll just say, after seeing the movie, I'm surprised the poster is what it is.
Yeah.
And I'll just say that.
I literally saw it again yesterday when I was going to If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. The trailer gives away a lot, but it doesn't give it away unless you've seen the movie. I'll put it that way.
I think it's one of those things where if you told someone the ending,
mm-hmm.
they would say, "Oh, well, that sounds like a load of shit." It's all. I think the ending works because of the execution. Like if you,
if you know, you know. Go ahead.
Like I said, if you just explained that ending, it would sound bad.
Sure.
Or it would sound like a cop out, maybe. But to see the way it's executed, like I said, without really saying too much, makes all the difference for how that ending, I think, does work. I'm still kind of debating if I thought the ending completely worked, but yeah, I think, like I said, I think the execution pulls it off to the point that I'm good with it. I've been wanting to see Save the Green Planet. It's impossible to find. And I'm surprised to learn that they might end similarly. That definitely felt like Lantham was saying, "I'm gonna go off and do this thing." But yeah.
Yeah, again, sort of being vague. Basically, the whole concept of the ending is pretty much the same as the original. I don't know whether it's executed fully because obviously I haven't seen. Just by looking at text doesn't mean I can properly comparison either. Because again, as you say, sort of, even via other means, yet alone official means, it's hard to find the original South Korean one.
I will say, I think I'm going to say something, but because I feel like our particular audience there's a good chance our particular audience won't know what I mean. And because Owen's here, I have to say this. The ending of Begonia is pretty much perfectly explained in an old George Carlin bit. I feel like you know which one I'm talking about.
Missing, honestly, I was imagining a completely different song playing at the end, and you by that too. Something else that involves bees.
Killer bees.
No, GBs.
No, I just wanted to say that random line from GTA 3's Chatterbox FM. Killer bees. Bry popping in, but yeah, Josie's. Oh, go ahead.
Our chest.
I was gonna say we could talk about Emma Stone at length, but that's one where it's like to not say too much. I don't know how you talk about her performance.
She's great.
Yeah, she's very. Okay. When I was saying, the way it plays with the fact of that you don't know if the movie's telling you the answer or not.
Mm-hmm.
Most of that is hinged on her performance.
Oh, absolutely.
As to what you believe as it goes, which is basically the foundation for the whole movie. So, if that's not praise for Emma Stone, I don't know what is.
1,000,000% deserved Oscar nomination when it happens. If it ends up happening after all. Clemens is screwed because everything's too packed this year.
It'd be cool. I mean, it would be cool if he did squeeze in. It's just a matter of who. It's just a matter of at the expense of who.
But
because I know you and I are on the Ethan Hawke train. as far as rooting for it.
Oh yeah, totally.
So Josie, favorite first time watches of the spooky season: Waxworks from 1924, Burn Witch Burn, aka Night of the Eagle from 1962, 1943's I Walked with a Zombie, Paper House from 88,
nice,
Transylvania Twist from 89, and then Vampire Hunter D, both the first one in 85 and Vampire D Bloodlust. With Josie noting as well, Paper House is a brilliant debut from Bernard Rose.
Mm.
And in honor if I had legs and kick you, given that a hole in the ceiling is a big part of the narrative, favorite scenes involving a hole in a wall or roof or ceiling or floor. Josie's pick is Mouse Hunt.
Man. Can I do a weird shout out here? It's a much smaller hole than the ones we're talking about in If I'd Like to Kick You or Mouse Hunt, because those are massive holes. I always love the episode of Full House where they accidentally put a hole in the wall.
Yes.
Because it's the one episode where they got away with it. I remember being blown away when I saw that episode as a kid, where I was like, oh my god, they successfully hit it and they didn't have to pay the consequences for it.
Taking me back to the time that when I was a kid, I think I've told this story on here before. I'm almost sure I have. I had my wrestling buddies. I was in my room. I was getting ready to do the good old earthquake splash. I jumped up and down like I was supposed to. I bound off the wall, and then I bound off the other wall, and the next thing you know, I was on the other side of the wall. So there was a hole in the wall that I made trying to run the ropes, and my dad ended up making a little tiny corridor in between both rooms because there was no way to fix it.
Weirdly,
I know.
Just because it stuck with me, because it's the only thing from the film that just I remember. Just because of sort of how subtle it's done when the symbolism it's supposed to fit. So it might not give you a clue as to what it is, but you know. Weirdly, just the entire house that is the house that is portrayed in Mother. I just like how the fact that sort of even some of like the subtle bits, you know, where it just becomes sort of disrepair throughout sort of the entire thing as the chaos ensues around it with just all the humans. If anything, it's more the set design as to sort of how decrepit that fucking place becomes because
Yeah.
of the symbolism of it. That's the only thing I remember. You know, I know Jennifer Lawrence. I keep forgetting like other people that are in it. I only like remember Jennifer Lawrence because of that poster that they did for the thing, and because I always have to remember it because it's one of the very few ones where I have to go mother because it's got an exclamation mark.
I remember being shocked by the moment where Kristen Wiig is like executing a line of people randomly.
Yeah.
Um, so veering in a completely different direction from Ashley, we do have the holiday season coming up. So I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Home Alone 2.
Or
Literally Marv's line, "Wow, what a hole." Yeah, we started with "If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You." So you were thinking of like dramatic ones, but it's like with Mouse Hunt and Home Alone 2, it's like a lot of them are comedy related.
yeah, most of the time.
The Money Pit I think the Money Pit had several holes and several walls and floors.
You know how hard it is to pull holes in movies? Not work.
Yeah, I feel like this is the one that has a lot of answers, and we're gonna remember most of them long after we're done here.
Seems legit.
That checks out. Moving forward.
Uh, this is a statement. I can't believe there was a Piggly Wiggly in Begonia. I never think
Yeah.
I'd see that again after Winner Date with Tad Hamilton.
What was so interesting was watching a Lanthimos movie in present day again. I know Kinds of Kindness was also, but like seeing him with like regular traffic and with a Piggly Wiggly in the background was like, I'm still getting used to this.
It's very bright and grainy at the same time,
Yeah.
especially the house shots.
Yeah.
I think the cinematography in the movie is phenomenal.
That's another more in Lanthimos movies. It feels like it's a given at this point. That it's just a technical marvel in all aspects. Even one as low key as this one, until it's not low key.
And then it's Senchi. Comedy for two is still comedy. Um, uh, Bryce says,
Quick
"Oh
kick.
boy, what do I got? Last Oscar movies of the 2000s I've watched are 12, which is the Russian remake of 12 Angry Men. I Am Sam, My Architecture Son's Journey, Changeling, Ajami, Zalari. A lot of the international stuff. Mongol Rise of Genghis Khan, The Twilight Samurai, The Story of the Weeping Camel, The Garden, Iraq in Fragments, Prisoner of Paradise, North Country, Shadow of the Vampire, Lagan Once Upon a Time in India, The Betrayal Nerakun, Twist of Faith, Days of Glory, Sound and Fury, Tupac Resurrection, Yesterday, The Most Dangerous Man in America, Daniel Ellsberg and the Pentagon Papers, War Slash Dance, Katyn, The Secret in Their Eyes, along with the English remake, and Zus and Zo. I'm guessing that, yeah, it makes sense considering it'll be the first one in 2 months. That's about enough to cover you for 2 months. I'm trying to think. Is True Pack Resurrection the one of the many Nick Broomfield documentaries, or is it something else?
I've got a DVD of it here. I'd look, but it's all the way over there.
Yeah. Just because I know Nick Broomfield's made more two-pack films than you think. Like, oh, so also tying into what you guys have been championing. If Lorenz Hart was still alive, or at least the Ethan Hawke interpretation, which musicals do you think that Hart would have loved to have seen, and which ones you think he'd be like, I'm glad I'm dead?
Yeah, I was gonna say he's so critical of most of them. I don't know. I could think of one he would do.
I'm intrigued to see what he'd. Because I'm trying to think, was there anything that sort of. It is Rogers and Hart, right? Before it became Rogers and Hammerstein, or am I thinking the other way around?
No, that's correct.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if Rogers and Hart did any sort of adaptation, because I'm just intrigued what he'd think about something like Wicked, because if it's something that sort of, because I want to say the original Oz book is sort of was well regarded even before the 39 adaptation. Maybe I might not be too clear on that. I was just intrigued whether he sort of would like the craft of that, and then again, it'd probably be more about the songs and whether they're the right sort of thing.
I think he'd hate Waitress. Rent would be interesting.
Yeah, the list of the ones he would hate is probably significantly longer.
Honestly, like Bye Bye Birdie would jump out at me as something I think he would dig. But if he liked it enough, he'd be mad that he didn't write the music himself.
Well, while we're still on the topic of music, Lauren Lazen or Lazen, however you say it, is who did Tupac Resurrection, apparently.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Not up during the show for you, everyone.
It's more fun. It's more fun than Wikipedia. You got the library. Use the library. It's here.
I have a tablet in my hands right now that's literally charging next to me. I have everything I need.
It's a case of why the hell do I need to use the I'm feeling lucky button?
Including these. My new AirPods.
With some of these results, Bry's now finished 2008 and all the 2000 films that were in the top 8 categories outside of Best Picture. And then in terms of Blu-rays from the Amazon sale, this is a bit of a fair mix. In the Valley of Elah, Pollock, Wonka, Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat, Cold Mountain, Catch Me If You Can, Seed of a Sacred Fig, Up, Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl, and Monsters Ball.
That's eclectic.
And then just from the Criterion flash sale, The Wiz, Saving Face, Flow, God bless, History of Violence, also God bless, Joey, that in that film is just like bloody Mark from Foxcatcher. I had to bring it up. Come on, gotta be once every 6 months.
It's like Ed Harris delivered that in this way that's the perfect line between threatening and petulant.
I guess because it was doing the rounds because of Tron Ares and all that happened. Jared Leto, you've done it again. People noted the blooming bit from Tron Legacy in it, the sequel, where CGI Bridges is like, you want me to keep shutting down or whatever the line is, and then it's just Jeff Bridges' delivery of accepting that and just going, yeah, like just like, again, it's just like what it's like in context. Nobody should say it like that because it's Jeff Bridges. You just allow it and walk away, and it's like, yes, we'll stick with it. The other Criterion ones for Bry: French Dispatch, Read My Lips, and from the Janus line, Vermiglio and evil does not exist. Oh, and Josie also pointing out, lest we not forget, Reese Witherspoon's in Little Nicky.
Yeah.
Very true. Imagine Bob Ferguson in the Kevin Smith Askew universe. Would he hang out at Quick Stop? Which characters do you think he'd get along with most, and which ones do you think he'd clash with?
I would think he would spend a lot more time at RST, actually. Because I could see him having late fees and him having to fight the late fees.
He is not chill enough to be in this universe.
No!
He would.
Dragged out. In Mallrats, he'd be dragged out by LaFours.
Well, I guess when he's like, we didn't really get to see him when he's chill and stoned, because when he was like really stoned in the movie is when he was forced into his situation. So maybe if we like got a good long look at him just sitting on the couch getting stoned, we get more of a vibe of what kind of.
Bob Ferguson is Jay's mentor. Yes.
Yeah, I get. Because there's vibes of that. There's also vibes of the dude, because
No, he's definitely a dude.
Being a stoner forced into a situation that's completely out of control. Not to mention, I think we even mentioned this in a previous live that PTA was already in PTA already did his Lebowski with Inherent Vice, so it makes sense to have a character that still fits in that universe. Where Bob Ferguson would be in Inherent Vice, I think, is another question.
Ooh.
I'll bring it up.
Actually, I want to see all the characters from Inherent Vice and One Battle After Another in one shared universe.
Yes.
Including both Del Toro's interacting with each other.
Thank you, Sensei!
Wes Anderson.
I'll briefly mention it here because considering the comparison that you guys did with Beau is Afraid, Bry does, because I'm guessing Bry hasn't caught it yet. Are there any sort of Ari Aster moments, given that Ari is listed as a producer on Begonia?
1,000,000%.
Which is another reason it's weird I didn't take to it.
Yeah.
It's like the Safdies meet Ari Aster, which sounds like heaven. It sounds like anxiety heaven, but it's just anxiety. It's anxiety without the appeal of those other two, at least to me. Obviously, it appeals to everybody else.
Bry saying, Lagan's the movie that made me learn the game of cricket. And then also, pats on the back for all of us. Great job on the bracket video. I'd like to see another version of it, especially an Oscar version. I think we can adapt it to sort of... I mean, there's obviously another way we could go with it just with Halloween stuff itself, but... You know, potentially you could twist it and we could have Christmas characters as well.
We do baby faces throughout, like, film history, stuff like that.
An Oscar one would be fun, too.
Bry saying, can't wait for the Macy's parade. The new balloons that they've got done have all their test flight with Buzz Lightyear, Shrek's Onion Carriage, Pac-Man, and the long-awaited Mario one. Also with Shrek's Onion Carriage balloon, it was the public reveal of the design of Shrek's other kids, Fergus and Farkle.
Yep.
Because they were not Zendaya as Michi. Although, because they got Fergus, I've now been reminded of the fact that Apple paid Phineas, you know, the other half of the Eilish family, God knows how much to do the new ident for Apple TV Plus or whatever it's called now. Which I guess some people will be seeing a lot depending what Apple movies are coming out this Christmas. Oh, and Bry also mentions performers were announced, I guess, for some of the stuff in terms of the parade. Some notable ones include Tana Monson. Yep, Cindy Lou herself. Tayana Taylor. So there we go. We got a one battle after another makes it to Macy's Thanksgiving Parade. Yes. And also I'm guessing the singing talents, because I don't think it's the same as the actresses from K-pop Demon Hunters.
Makes
The
sense.
publicity push continues.
Which was out this weekend
Mm-hmm.
in a long version, and it is the closing week of Halloween Horror Nights, and I am very busy, so I have still yet to see K-pop Demon Hunters, and when it gets its Oscar nomination in a few months, I will hope that it comes out in theaters. Otherwise, it will go sight unseen for the rest of eternity.
Josie asks, which other movie villains could you see joining the Christmas Adventurers Club? Josie says the mayor from Jaws, the mayor from the 2000 Grinch, Mark Ruffalo's character from Poor Things, Stephen Lang's character from the Avatar movies, Stinky Pete from Toy Story 2, the parents from Get Out, and Guy Pearce's character from The Brutalist. That goes a wide span of holy.
At the same time, I don't think we need to respond to that because those are the perfect answers, I think. It's a really fun question.
The problem is the follow-up is how do you think they'd fare in the club?
Well, we've seen what they perceive as weak. I'd be curious who would get I don't want to say too much, who would get, we'll say, the pen treatment. That's what I'd be curious about. And I think my first candidate is Ruffalo and Poor Things.
And to be fair, we know who it wouldn't be. The parents from Get Out, because they would be supplying the pen treatment for the Christmas club.
Yeah.
Accurate.
Oh, Josie says I asked this question on another podcast, and they said that there you go. Ruffalo's character would get denied, and then he'd start his own version of the club, and it would suck. Bryce also retorted and said,
I love we're on the same page on that.
Bryce said, I don't know if I had to say the mayor of Whoville, because that's Jeffrey Tambor, and he got cancelled.
I didn't even know that. I don't know who's been canceled and who hasn't at this point.
He was like one of the first cancellations of this era.
I'm out.
But yeah, it's fun. I was just thinking also that I think weirdly enough, one of those characters, I think the one that would end up the highest ranked is the mayor from Jaws.
Oh, for sure.
Bry's pick stuff is there. Josie did also mention, just in case you need to keep an eye on it, Owen, she emailed you an adaptation mini round with only sort of half a dozen titles if you want to bring that up.
I have access to my email right now.
Okay, we'll have to hold on that for next time, Josie. Technical difficulties. This is when I should have, considering how The Simpsons is Fortnite and everything, I need to get that screen ready. With the technical difficulties with the drunk cameraman. So Bry's just giving us somewhat of a heads up for some of the notable things that made it into the international category pre-shortlist. So Belgium's Young Mothers, which is from the directors behind Kid with a Bike and 2 Days, 1 Night, which of course got Cotillard a Best Actress nomination that year. Bosnia and Herzegovina's Bloom, Masters of Their Own Destiny, from Jasmila Jibanic, who did Quo Vadis Aida, and also is a documentary. Brazil's Secret Agent, Denmark's Mr. Nobody Against Putin, another documentary. Oh, so that okay. That means I've got an excuse to see it now because it got put on the BBC Storyville thing. So it's an actual Oscar contender, possibly. France's It Was Just an Accident. They also had Arco for animated and Nouvelle Vague, but France want to hopefully redeem themselves after what happened last year. Germany's Sound of Falling, Hungary's Orphan from Laszlo Nenes, who did Son of Saul. India's Homebound, which got third in the People's International Choice at TIFF. Latvia's Dog of God, an R-rated animated horror. Oh, that sounds fun. North Macedonia's Tale of Silian, another documentary from Tamara Kovetska, who was one of the directors of Honeyland. Norway's We Already Now, which sounds too similar to We Grow Now, which was the one that I kept hearing over and over again at the Spirit. We Grow Now. Poland's Franz from Agnesia Holland, who did Europa Europa in the 90s, In Darkness and Green. I'm guessing that's Green Border, not Broder. Bro. Oh god, I remember Matt Riddle exists. South Korea's No Other Choice. Spain's Sirat, which I could see be the one neon film to miss the shortlist. Tunisia, The Voice of the Hind Rajab from Kouato Ben Hania, who did Man Who Sold His Skin and Four Daughters. And apparently, Like No Other Land, doesn't have a US distributor right now. Ukraine's 2,000 Meters to Andrivka, the documentary from the guy that did 20 Days in Mariupol. So, as you know, title's got a similar-ish style name. UK's My Father's Shadow. And then Taiwan, Left-Handed Girl, which I'm hesitant about this one, even though the country's the nomination. But guess who's a producer and co-writer for the Taiwanese film? Okay, now I need to look that up. Because
It's funny. It's funny.
What it is.
It's funny that this almost feels like a can lineup in how you can say everybody that's here had a previous movie in this one.
Co-written by he who should not be named.
That's fair.
Right. That makes
Moving
sense.
on.
Yeah. Now I understand.
No.
You don't have to put it in chat, bro. I clicked the Wikipedia thing.
Keep it on moving.
To get the sulfuric acid in my eyes. Josie's probably got a fair point as well, considering some of the subject matter that does happen in it. Begonia reminds me of Misery.
Yeah.
There's definitely connections there.
Plemons should be nominated for lead actor, and Aidan Deblee should be in the conversation for supporting actor.
Again, the category's way, way, way too packed, especially supporting actor.
And also adding shout out to autistic performers. Ooh, I'm just double checking because I need to check his filmography in terms of what he has and hasn't done. Bronson asks, what's our guy's favourite film directed by Brett Ratner? Which is...
My knee-jerk answer might be Red Dragon.
That's a good one.
But I always thought piece of shit behavior beside, I always found him super entertaining. Especially what his Rat Pack company was putting out there in like the mid 2010s.
Mm-hmm.
All the right
great shit. A carryover from childhood that's a movie I still love so much is Rush Hour 2.
To be to be fair for me, I was going to say pretty much most of the Rush, if not all the Rush Hour trilogy, they're just sort of fun things to put on.
Right.
3 is fine. one is great and two is I'm actually shocked that I'm in my mid-30s now and I still love Rush Hour 2 as much as I did in my childhood. Like not like there's not even a guilty feeling about it. Like it like sometimes comes with that. No, I
I
just
just love the fact
unapologetically
that Rush Hour 3 has somewhat of a cameo by David Niven Jr. like the how.
and I stand by that his Hercules with Dwayne was super underrated.
Yeah.
That movie's hilarious and it was intentional.
Unlike the one that Rennie Hamlin did, which of course came out the same year, so people got confused as to which one was which.
I- Ian McShane in that Hercules is comedy gold.
Also, I wouldn't say it's like the best one, but I feel Family Man is slightly underrated.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You know, it's sort of the thing where you look at sort of most of his things, it's the one that is the least Brett Ratner. Considering
Until
all
you
the other
remember,
stuff he did, at least in terms of director, was Money Talks, After the Sunset, that X-Men film, the one that people either love or hate,
it is.
and then obviously Tower Heist as well. Family
See, I
Man is
remember
the one
Tower
that
Heist.
doesn't seem like an action comedy.
I remember Tower Heist being pretty funny, even though it is pretty forgettable too.
hmm
Yeah, I do love the Family Man's connection to Rush Hour 2, where like Cheadle and Piven have cameos in Rush Hour 2 because he had just come off the Family Man with them.
Uh, uh, oh, Josie says, would Jesse Plemons' character Teddy be on the show Ancient Aliens?
I think Don would be on Ancient Aliens.
I don't really I know that show by name, but I don't know like what it is. But just based on what I think it is, I'm gonna say yes.
Sure.
So Josie says, which snub scenario do you think's more likely? Netflix missing any Best Picture nomination for the first time since the 17-18 cycle, or neither Wicked or Avatar making it into the 10? Probably the Netflix, because as long as it delivers, Wicked's in there for sure.
Yeah.
Avatar, I feel, is on the fence because I'm just wondering, considering how I feel like I've seen way less publicity for this than I did for Way of Water or Avatar 1. I think there's like people are sort of cotting on to the fact that is it just going to be, you know, a copy paste of various things, and like people are like, we've seen it before, and you know the cat's been let out the bag too much by Cameron. But yeah, Wicked, as long as it's got the legs. And come on, now we officially know, because I think it was only hinted at by the time we talked about it last time. We now know Coleman Domingo's the bloody Cowardly Lion.
Yes.
When they first did it, it was, you know, and when John was talking about it, everyone was sort of like, it's going to be James Corden. I was like, oh my god. But then, you know, I thought it was going to be somebody who was, the way he was saying it, it was going to be like, there's going to be a lot of people that hate this. So then when it came out like 3 days later that, oh no, it's Coleman Domingo, I was like, why was he starring the part? This is the bit in the Telltale games where you have to make the choices that actually drag through to thing. So the thing in the top left of the screen will say, everyone likes that. Like, Josie saying Bogoni also reminded me of the Crush with the bees. And And
Interest.
Lanthimos considers the ending to be optimistic. I mean, that's one
Yep.
take on it.
All right.
It's optimistic for something.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Yeah.
Everything.
Spencer's little block of stuff. I love AJ's video on Black Christmas.
Nice.
I guess something's going on with the typing, but whatever. From what I can tell from it, Owen should be in Five Nights at Freddy's too.
You know, as long as Matthew Lillard is tall, I probably won't have a chance. If Matthew Lillard wasn't tall, I would have had a chance. If David Howard Thornton wasn't tall, I would have had a chance.
I don't think these are related to each other because I wouldn't classify the film as this topic area, but Spencer puts "I love Better Man" after typing favorite Shakespeare adaptation. I don't think the Robbie Williams film was for what I could tell, was a Shakespeare adaptation.
I like that movie. It was also a screen unseen.
Ooh, but favorite Shakespeare adaptation.
A knee-jerk answer would be Branagh's Hamlet, because it's the whole fucking thing. My opinion of the tragedy of Macbeth is pretty well known on this channel at this point. That will be up there.
With that, actually.
I'm not in a minority here. A lot of people say it, but I know you also that has to kind of be your style for it. But I'll be one of those people that always stands by Lerman's Romeo and Juliet.
That's what I was literally as we were speaking.
That's a really strong way to help Shakespeare find a modern audience.
Certainly.
But I think Branagh's Hamlet for me is like the top tier of doing Shakespeare adaptations.
Yeah, I'm trying to sort of quickly look through like some of the sort of the various lists of them.
I would throw a shout to 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah, to sort of jump on that train, at least in terms of the modern stuff, I really didn't mind Anyone But You as an adaptation of Much Ado About Nothing. Maybe just because the chemistry that, you know, Glenn and Sydney had with that just actually sort of epitomised what you really needed from something like Beatrice and Benedict.
I really dug that movie.
I like the simplicity and the bare bones nature of Whedon's Much Ado About Nothing.
Yeah,
and the
black
fact
and
that he
white as well.
And the fact that I can't remember if it was in was it in the middle of the Avengers or right after he did the first Avengers, where he basically did it as a way to like settle down after that experience.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I'm just double checking. Also, you know, honourable mention to The Lion King, because it's basically Hamlet.
Yeah.
As well.
I really liked the Othello with Lawrence Fishburne. And another one of those modern retellings when Tim Blake Nelson did O with Mekhi Phifer and Josh Hartnett is kind of like the answer to Lerman's Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, in terms of the classic stuff as well, I do like Kurosawa's Throne of Blood.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's really, you know, as much as, you know, obviously this channel stands Tragedy of Macbeth.
Yeah, Polanski's Macbeth is incredible too.
Mm-hmm. And then obviously, I could list a whole load of the National Theatre adaptations that have actually got, or even the Royal Shakespeare ones. The Royal Shakespeare Macbeth that has this sort of like digital clock running the background, which is counting towards basically the end. Well, you think it's the end of the play, but basically um, it's Macbeth's death. I'm trying to remember whether it's like he's just there because it's sort of semi-modern because he's sort of in army sort of fatigues, kind of like weirdly his character in 28 Days Later. And it's either right when it comes to the thing from out of nowhere, it's either he pulls out a gun and offs himself, or he gets some like combat knife and literally just like cuts his throat. It's the only time I've like heard the theatre audience and the cinema audience both go at the same time. It's like, where did that come from?
Also talking about modernizations, Andrew Scott's Hamlet was really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard a lot of people say that hearing Andrew Scott's delivery in Hamlet was the first time they really understood the dialogue, and I can see that because it's like he's telling the story in his body language too.
Mm-hmm.
Andrew Scott's incredible, like just all around.
Hosmuck Pizza. Hosmuck Pizza. Hello there. I think that's a new name. The hole in the wall in Brazil that Robert De Niro comes to fix.
Yeah.
And then the hole in the gate from 1987. Some classic hole action for you. Josie back in. My first November watch was Red Rock West. That's too many R's and W's next to each other. Have you seen it, AJ?
We there's a video really early on this. It was like one of the first videos we did where I talk about quote unquote obscure movies. I talk about it a little bit in that one. I love that movie.
And now some more Bob Ferguson love. Josie saying, how do you think Bob would respond to trick or treaters?
I don't end well, and I don't think he's not going to spend the night in the jail because of it.
I just love this whole continuous thing of putting Bob Ferguson in different situations.
It's like the whole meme from earlier this year. It was like 1,000 men versus a gorilla. Be like, insert situation here and Bob Ferguson.
The Where's Waldo game with Bob Ferguson.
Yeah. Josie kind of brings one up, which would be intriguing. What would happen if Willa was in a play and Bob Ferguson went to it? What kind of play do you think that Willa would be in, or what kind of play would it be? But yes,
I'm stuck on what Owen just said because I want it because
of course,
because like Waldo, Bob Ferguson is wearing a hat and a very recognizable design on his shirt that if you put him in crowds, you could look for it.
I found it crazy as well the amount of times I was watching various things on Halloween for social media, and like for some reason people were dressing up as Bob for Halloween costumes.
Lots of people dressed up like Bob Ferguson this year.
I saw people doing it at screenings too.
Yeah.
So it's already. So we're already pretty close to One Battle After Another having its own Lebowski Fest, is what it sounds like.
Yeah. Oh, Bry also mentioned Norway's pick is sentimental value. I just said we already know because it's obvious. Oh, Bry said I had to watch Tower Heist because of the Macy's parade. I forgot that was the plot point.
Yeah, true.
There is a moment in Tower Heist that I always remember that's just the funniest thing to me. It's something Eddie Murphy says, and I cannot repeat it.
Oh
But
no.
it makes me laugh every time he says.
So there is a game that I discovered during our 45-minute breaks that is on the internet. It is basically the 5 grossing movies of a specific day, and you have to guess the movie based on the genre, the director, the actors, the gross, the final box office. Something I got really, really wrapped into. And speaking of lines I can't say on camera, Think Like a Man came up, and I just wanted to throw a shout to Kevin Hart.
I was trying to remember if that was the first or second movie.
I
Because
think it's.
sometimes I forget there were 2 of those things. I think it's the first one.
Oh, I think. Hold on. I don't know how typing in "Think Like a Man" quotes is going to work for me, but I guess we'll see.
Oh, if you search it, it's got to be there somewhere.
I've got them both. We're good. Let's go.
I feel if there's a third one, it's going to do like a Now You See Me, and they're just going to. It's not going to be Think Like a Man. It's going to be Walk Like a Man, just because they want to use the blooming Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons song. Bry, I guess, regarding Avatar 3.
Who cares?
We'll just have to wait until the movie comes out, not by the actual global critics nominations, because it might show up in them, beforehand just for buzz, and then when people actually see it and realize how they feel about it, that's when we'll know.
What usually happens is the Globes will probably nominate it for picture, and then we won't see it for a while, and then it'll come back.
I hope that does not happen, but you are usually right when it comes to these things.
And then, Bry, as usual, thoughts on the Criterion lineups, which I guess we can cover now for December and January.
The one I'm actually the one that caught my attention the most was Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
I just found that the same day as that as well, we're getting David Byrne's American Utopia. I didn't think that was going to get a Criterion.
Yes. Love that.
And then January's is pretty tasty as well. We've got Jim Jarmusch's Dead Man, Scorsese's sort of world cinema project, which is obviously, not him, but it's him curating sort of the good stuff. Errol Flynn's Captain Blood, John Huston's The Dead, House Party. What an eclectic trilogy the end of January is, when you've got House Party, Birth, and the original Kiss of the Spider Woman.
I was trying to remember if this was. Is this Dead Man's first time in the collection? Because it seems like a given, but I think it might be.
See, if I look at the number for Birth and see what number it is, 1298. If it's a high number, then I know, yes, it's the first. If it's not, it's like somewhere it got put on Laserdisc. No.
And Kiss of the Spider Woman
It's listed as 919, so I guess it's just a 4K update.
And Kiss of the Spider Woman is a great one for the collection because there was a while there it was kind of hard to get a hold of physically, and I feel like it's a lot of what Criterion's purpose is to catch those movies before they disappear, so they don't disappear.
Yeah, weirdly from an article in 2022, it says, so 2018 Criterion reissued Dead Man in Blu-ray with... Oh, that was 4K. So have they just upped the 4K or something? So yeah, about 6 or 7 years ago. Oh, maybe because it's a 4K digital restoration? Possibly.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Because apparently it's going to be 2 disc, and basically the standard Blu-ray is going to be, by the looks of it, the same release as what happened. So it's basically just a remastered 4K. Yeah, Josie says, at least on the Shakespeare stuff, I'd like to see a modern update of All's Well That Ends Well, set in something like the medical field. And then maybe this is Macy's themed, I don't know. Thoughts on there being a Labubu movie float. Is it float? I can't see the comments.
I'm too old to have an opinion on
that.
I would have one if there was one that I could justify buying. I don't think there is one that I can justify buying. There was a knockoff Danhausen one I thought about, but no.
I can't see. Comments are in that manner. Right. Josie, as I say, hopefully we'll be able to get round to the adaptation stuff next time around, when Owen has access to the stuff again. So, as usual, we'll round off with Bry's Oscars game. And it's film editing from the 2010s, which means we already start with AJ being happy.
So no.
And probably saying there is no other answer, because
yeah, this is when we got our this is when we got Fincher 2 years in a row, right?
Yeah, 2010, Social Network beating out 127 Hours, Black Swan, The Fighter, and The King's Speech.
127 Hours would have been a really good choice too.
Yeah, but yeah, considering the script and how it needs to sort of be pacey and everything and work, yeah, Social Network.
But yeah, and the Social Network's probably one of the most accomplished feats of editing in movies. Maybe like only under Schoonmaker doing Woodstock.
I'm guessing you say the same, Owen.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's a great lineup. It really is. I like every movie on that. And in a different year, 127 Hours would be the right answer. But yeah, it's the Social Network.
The Fighter is a great nomination too.
I love The Fighter.
2011, we have Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Weirdly, they're listed in the opposite order. Social Network is Angus and Kirk, but Girl with the Dragon 2 is Kirk and Angus. Shared the load. Girl with the Dragon 2 beat out Artist, Descendants, Hugo, and Moneyball.
I love all these movies as well.
Yeah, it's sort of.
I'm gonna say Dragon 2, I think, but I almost want to say Moneyball. Yeah. Or do I want to say Moneyball?
I'm kind of split between Hugo and Moneyball as well, but again, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is really well done too.
I think I might say Moneyball actually, but they're like right there together.
Owen, yourself?
It's tough because, like, again, there's not a wrong answer in this category at all. I mean, I can say that a lot with these categories. There's a lot of there's not many of these movies I don't like. So, Moneyball makes sense here. And I love Hugo. I don't want to discount The Artist or The Descendants. Yeah, Moneyball.
I forgot. I need to say something else. Going back, still 15 years later, Inception's editing snub is insane. Still.
Yeah. 2012. I'll go fuck yourself. Beating out Life of Pi, Lincoln, Silver Linings Playbook, and Zero Dark 30.
That's a strong list of movies, but I wouldn't call it a strong editing list.
Yeah.
Like, why is Skyfall not here?
Yeah.
Honestly, I might say Silver Linings Playbook.
Yes.
I genuinely don't know what I think of Argo right now. Because I loved Argo the first time I saw it, but then we saw it so many times because of award season, I got sick of it. And then I got sick of it winning. I don't know. I really don't know how I feel about Argo right now. I think I should rewatch it soon. Maybe it is my answer, but right now I might say in a list that feels like it should be much better. Like Django should be here, Skyfall should be here. I guess I'd say Silver Linings Playbook. I think Lincoln's well edited in the sense that it flows really well when it feels like it's a movie that shouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I see that. Um,
I think Owen's answer is a given.
I mean, my favorite movie of the entire decade. I would say that's pretty a guaranteed pick right there.
I'd probably go with
Yeah.
Argo, but I'd kind of put Zero Dark 30 as my second, because if anything, sort of like some of the various bits of tension you get with that, I feel is very well done, especially, when you do get sort of the torture stuff, you sort of have to cut that in a way to sort of sometimes make it look dramatic, but then sometimes just to depict it as sort of the torture that it is to some extent.
I don't know if you remember this, but 2012 was one of those years where, for some reason, we watched the Best Picture nominees in the Oscar movies a lot,
We did.
and so with the exception of Django, I think I got sick of all of them at one point or another. Like I remember there's like a dancing montage in the middle of Silver Linings Playbook, and my eyes started to glaze over, and I came to the conclusion, why are we watching this again? Or the fucking Pennies from Heaven montage in The Artist.
Yes.
I was going to run into traffic if we saw that one more time.
We saw that movie so many times.
I really don't remember why we used to do that with the Oscar movie.
I don't know.
I think maybe we were trying to get on the same amount of love the Academy was giving. It's like if we watch it 10 times, maybe we'll know.
Maybe one I love to live here. But yeah, obviously, without even going into elaboration for any reason, Silver Lining Playbook is the right answer here. Move on.
Yeah, 2013, I'd say I wouldn't say it's a given, but it's a relatively strong list, maybe sort of bar one, maybe. So, Gravity beat out 12 Years a Slave, David O. Russell's American Hustle. So I always want to say it like that because it sounds like it's, some sort of Dr. Seuss like Cat in the Hat rhyme. Captain Phillips, I am the captain now. And Dallas Buyers Club, which I think is the only one that sort of in hindsight, maybe not. But the other four, Chef's Kiss.
Captain Phillips for me, for sure.
What are you talking about?
About Captain Phillips for me, for sure. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about Dallas Buyers Club like that?
I just didn't notice the editing as much in that, whether that's a good thing or not.
You know what sucks is the first 1/3 of 12 Years a Slave would absolutely be a contender for me. But as soon as he's on Fassbender's Plantation, that movie hits the brakes so fucking hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, it's like, I guess it's more cinematography than editing, but like having the balls to sort of show the hanging bit for as long as they do in that. Some would sort of try and cut away and whatever, but they try and keep the shot. But again, I don't know whether that's probably more cinematography than. I'm just bringing that up because I know when we get to later on, I'm looking at you, BoJack Horseman. That's when we get to the problem of when editing that year at least became how many cuts can we do? Which for something like that, I mean, well, I'll discuss about it, but in that respect, Captain Phillips being filmed, Paul Greengrass shaky cam, it's like it needs a trademark. It makes sense in terms of that editing. But no, again, sort of, even though there wasn't a huge amount of editing with it, because it sort of was tried to portray as one continuous cut, sort of. Gravity just sticks with
me. And by the way, after I chose Silver Linings Playbook, I think I should probably mention here, I kind of hate American Hustle's editing.
Ooh.
It's from the get-go. My review, when we were first doing reviews for that movie, most of the stuff I talked about was, why is it trying to Scorsese so hard? It's like it's distracting. It's distracting how much it's trying to be Scorsese. When Scorsese had a movie that year that was so Scorsese, it stood out even more as a horrible copy. American Hustle aged so poorly for me. I can't stand Bradley Cooper in it. I rewatched it a few years ago and I was like, what the fuck is Cooper doing? Like, I don't know. But anyway, Owen?
I was actually going to say Dallas Buyers Club.
I'm hoping to speed up my thoughts a little quickly because I'm going to kind of go off when Bohemian Rhapsody gets here, but not for the reason people think. But
I keep forgetting that was the. I keep wanting to say that's the last thing David O. Russell did, but forgetting that Joy actually wasn't too bad a few years later. But then, of course, that same year was the Alan Smithy Accidental Love, which, boy. And then Amsterdam that I only remember for, let's kill off Taylor Swift.
Hey now.
Okay. I really wanted to end by 8, which it just turned 8.
Yeah.
But I mean, since this topic's up here, I don't know if I can. I maybe shouldn't say this, but Jennifer Lawrence is literally in the news right now, talking about working with Russell and how intense it was, but how basically that's it. Like, because he made fucking Amy Adams cry, and she was talking about when they would do the diner scenes in Silver Linings Playbook, he was laying in the booth behind her, telling her how much she sucked. And she's like, but I know it was like, it wasn't hateful. It was like to get the best out of me. But it's like, excuse my word choice, but there's not really another one. Russell is a known cunt at this point.
True.
And when I remember hearing those stories about him laying in the booth behind her back then, and it was like, this dude's getting off on pushing people around. Like, this guy fucking sucks. There's a reason Clooney had to punch him out. There's a reason the Lily Tomlin thing happened. And it's like, I feel like Lawrence is at that place where it's like, when you're like a kid and you're getting bullied, but people will tell you, oh, they're just doing it's either it's like, oh, they're just messing around, or oh, that's just they do that to people they like or whatever, and then you grow up and you're like, no, I was just straight up getting bullied.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's what Lawrence is going through with Russell, is what it sounds like. I can't judge because I'm not her and I wasn't there, but that's the vibe I get of her defending him right now.
That's why I'm conflicted about this Madden film. Because technically it was a video game movie, because it's sort of based about how Madden adapted to basically become the face of EA Sports for God knows how many years. but at the same time, sort of, with everything that's still sort of lingering around him in terms of not just with Lawrence, but a few other, all the other allegations sort of against him. I'm surprised he somehow still managed to sort of make his way back into the stuff. Then again, God knows how much of a career Roman Polanski had despite everything. So
Yeah, the Cage and Bale-ness of that movie makes me want to see it. It was a long time before I knew it was Russell, and now I'm like really conflicted.
the fact as well, we've got blooming John Mulaney as Trip Hawkins. So John Mulaney is the face of EA. Like, what the hell?
But yeah, I don't. And I feel in Amsterdam, his behavior should have been the nail in his coffin, and then Amsterdam should have been the nail in his coffin. I don't know why he's back. But by the time we got to American Hustle, he was already falling off. It just took us a minute to realize it.
Scrolling back up, right? As we took that tangent for 2014. Oh yeah, 2014. Yeah.
See one.
Bad Luck American Sniper, Bad Luck Boyhood, Bad Luck Grand Budapest Hotel, Bad Luck Imitation Game, Whiplash exists.
Grand Budapest would have been a great one too.
Yeah.
If Whiplash wasn't Whiplash.
Yes.
Grand Budapest is the only other option, but Whiplash is unbeatable. I remember calling that editing nomination way before most people did.
Are you dragging? Again, this is a pretty good list as well for 2015. Mad Max Fury Road beating out Big Short, Revenant, Spotlight, and Star Wars Force Awakens.
That's a good. I feel like you can't not say Mad Max because you look at Fury Road just as a movie in general in every aspect, and you're like, how does this exist? How is it possible this movie exists? And I would think editing is certainly plays a big part in that. So it's almost a boring answer, but it's almost objectively the answer. Almost.
Just from the way it's portrayed, I feel like, every time that came out on home media, there should have been obviously not the actual drug that's depicted in the film, but considering how it was revealed to basically just be silver cake icing. Basically, the equivalent of every DVD and Blu-ray having sort of a little sort of like minty spray like you use as an air freshener that you just use to basically get the full sort of experience of that editing. Your pick, Owen?
The Revenant.
It's fair as well.
I hate Mad Max. I don't care.
2016.
Spotlight would have been a great winner too.
Spotlight would have been a great. That was my second choice.
2016. Hacksaw Ridge beating out Arrival, Hell or High Water, La La Land, and Moonlight.
I'm inclined to say Moonlight or Hell or High Water. So Hacksaw Ridge is a good winner for sure.
Mm-hmm. I'd probably go with Hell or High Water.
I think that's where I'm leaning.
Yeah. Owen?
Obviously going with La La Land, but Hell or High Water is definitely my second.
Yeah. 2017. Dunkirk beating out Baby Driver, I, Tonya, Shape of Water, and Three Billboards.
Three Billboards was my favorite movie of that year, but it's down to Dunkirk and Baby Driver. Okay, I'm gonna say Baby Driver, but what Dunkirk did with the timelines is unspeakably good.
Yeah. That's annoying as well because, like, Dunkirk in sort of editing it so the sort of narrative sort of somehow lays together, despite, as you say, the very sort of short timelines somehow fitting in with the longer timelines of the three. But then at the same time, arguably just the opening credits scene that has the titles on it for Baby Driver, and the way that's all perfectly edited with the music and everything.
Yeah, I feel like if this makes any sense, I feel like Dunkirk is the bigger accomplishment,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't not say Baby Driver.
Yeah. To be fair though, I feel probably this is from his TV background as well, even though it's not him that's doing it. Edgar Wright stuff always seems like it fits for editing. All the sort of pan cuts and whatever he does in everything's right from when it started with Spaced and Is It Bill Bailey through the Blood and Cornetto trilogy, and obviously what hopefully is coming with Running Man.
It's the editing, I feel like especially Hot Fuzz. The editing is like is like one of the biggest personality traits of the Cornetto trilogy.
Yeah. Owen?
Baby Driver.
Right, so that now we can open the can of worms. Bo Rap Horseman beating out Black Klansman, the favourite, Green Book, and Vice.
My actual answer is going to be Black Klansman. But, and like I said, if somebody comes into a conversation and like, hey dudes, I'm about to rage about the editing win for Bohemian Rhapsody, you think you know what you're about to hear, but that's not what I'm going to say. And anybody that's not new to the channel will know what I'm about to say because I've said it numerous times.
Yeah.
Yes.
I am perfectly okay with Bohemian Rhapsody's editing win. If Black Klansman wasn't here, I'd probably say it. And the reason people hate it, I can tell you the fucking reason people hate it. That fucking person, whoever they were, made that stupid YouTube video where they put that 3-second clip of him sitting in that chair and said, hey guys, these are what these fucking idiots gave the editing win to.
I remember that.
And everybody took that as that's 3 seconds of him sitting in that chair is representative of the entire fucking movie, which is bullshit. First of all, when you looked into it and you heard people talk, what it seemed like, because again, some people think they know editing when they really don't. So the main takeaway for a lot of people that know were saying like, that movie had such a clusterfuck production when Singer got, whether it be fired, whether he left, whatever it was, that editor had a clusterfuck of footage to put together into a cohesive movie. And the fact that it looks like it does is actually kind of a miracle of editing. That it is a cohesive movie. And I think that's what a lot of industry voters had in mind, was that was known in those circles. But also when you look at all the concert footage, or even the build-up to the concert footage, like when they're building We Will Rock You for the first time. And the scene, my favorite scene in the movie, when they're building Bohemian Rhapsody from the ground up. And they're having to do take after take after take after take. Those scenes are exhilarating to me. Any movie where it's like them building the music from the ground up, and it takes really good editing to put those together also. So I think that 3-second chair clip that went viral with that title has completely warped how people see that movie as far as an editing standpoint goes. Not to mention, it's just a popular movie to hate in general, so that's just one more thing to throw onto the pile. And it's just really annoying to me, that movie's reputation. And then I think it came from people taking out of context things as gospel, as what's representative of a movie that's almost 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Is not defined by
with the production, obviously, it makes sense to sort of how it is, but I do find it interesting that that year the two major big hitters were basically the ones that had the most cuts in that and Vice.
Yeah.
Of which, whether you like him or not, rest in peace, Dick Cheney. Might as well mention that, given that
The
news
very
came today.
the very first thing that popped in my head when I saw that headline was Bale saying, "Well, gang, I think it's time to go back to the hospital."
Your pick, Owen?
This one's actually tough. Because obviously, like AJ just alluded to, there are people that think they know editing and they don't. I know I don't know editing, and I don't pretend to. So I always have to go with the movies I like the best. The weird thing is, I like everything in this lineup, including the movie that everyone didn't like. I think I'm leaning towards Black Klansman, but I would not. I'm not upset with Bohemian Rhapsody winning. I think I predicted it actually, and I wouldn't be upset if anything else won either.
You
Yeah,
know,
in terms of what, just because I bring it up because she's in the 2019 list as well. The only reason I think I can tolerate The Snowman, again considering the debacle that was that production, is Thelma's editing of what she had given to try and make it look something passable. I appreciate what they were trying to do, and especially her, because, dear Lord, we're pulling out hen's teeth. Except the
but
hen is that old and decrepit that it has no teeth, apart from one that's somewhere hiding under the gum. We've got to really.
it's funny you bring her up. I was about to say one more thing involving her, actually. Um, Another thing when I say people don't know editing the way they think they do. You know what is another sentiment I always hear that makes me just see fucking red? Is when people side eye a long movie getting nominated for or winning editing because it's long. Like Titanic and The Irishman and stuff like that. And they're like, why are you nominated that for editing? It's 3.5 hours long. You sound like a fucking idiot. And that's I'll leave that at that because we've done a lot of tangents and I'd like to go.
Yeah, we will bring her up because obviously 2019 Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, and Parasite lost out to Ford v Ferrari / Le Mans 66, depending where you're from.
Again, that's a fantastic lineup. 2019 was a fantastic year.
Yes, it was.
And yes, I'm still livid that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is not here for some reason. They got it out for Raskin, and I don't get it. I understand
Yeah.
we all miss Sally. We all desperately miss Sally. I know.
Yeah.
But what the fuck is this? Why has Raskin not been nominated yet? This is fucking stupid. Um, so I'm probably gonna say Ford versus Ferrari because I adore Ford versus Ferrari. I think I've made that well known at this point. Um, but Parasite.
Yeah.
uh,
You know
Man,
how
I like
much I
that.
love Parasite, the way I was sort of championing it all that bloody season. But at the same time, again, just because of the nature of how it is, 4v Ferrari Le Mans 66 is probably a worthier winner. Just sort of the subject matter aids to the editing a bit more. But yeah, they're all really good choices.
I like if I had to like subtract one to put Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in, I love Joker,
Yeah,
but I don't love Joker as much as I love specifically the last half hour of Joker. Joker was very high in my top 10 that year, and I think it was almost solely based on the last half hour. which is some of the most cinematic shit we've seen in a long time. But if I had to take one out, I feel like Joker also got a lot. Joker was the most nominated movie that year. I think a lot of it was lazy nominations, like
Yeah.
costume design, makeup, and stuff like that. Could have gone to other things, but
Owen.
yeah. Are you gonna finish this out, Owen?
Great out, but Ford versus Ferrari can't be topped.
Nice.
Bry asks us, so next up on the docket, we're back round to production design. So we've done the odd years or the odd decade so far. So we've done 50s, 70s, and 90s. Where do you want to go next, guys?
I wouldn't mind staying in the 2010s actually.
Okay.
This is a pretty intriguing decade. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that it's one we've been following mostly on this channel, so it's still in our heads.
I can still remember these things, which isn't much to say about some of these decades.
So yeah, Bryce says 2010s production design it is.
Wow, that was fast.
Yeah, he was in chat, paying attention. Sometimes I feel like sometimes there's a few minutes delay and whatever. Or Bryce had to dip out on, has to catch up basically on archive. But yeah, so we're there. So I think with that, no other new comments have come in the live chat. So, Owen, do you want to hit us with the outro? As much as you can, even though I don't know whether we're getting a snow globe appearance. We'll see. All right.
I'm here.
Okay. I got dead.
Sorry,
oh no.
Right now, I apologize.
That's all right.
Apparently, it's supposed to be in like the 30s and 40s next week because of this polar vortex thing. So yay.
At least it's not the Jericho vortex.
Oh, I don't think that's coming anytime soon. So, oh God. As you probably have noticed, we've got a couple new videos from Ashley.
Mm-hmm.
Those will continue. AJ content will continue in the future as well. But if you want to go back and watch the other videos he did for 30 straight days, you're more than welcome to. And then our big video we did on Halloween, the fun tournament.
Which is in the live tab if you can't find it.
Yes, correct. Speaking of that, there's this new feature that's rolling out on YouTube slowly but surely called hyping videos. I'm going to see what I can do to try to see if we can be eligible for this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be your show for today. And thanks to everyone for joining us, whether live or in archive. Ashley can be found on X at Ash is my name UK. AJ cannot be found on social media. And I can be found at Sir Owen. So if I've seen a little distant tonight, there's been for I'll end it. Remember to always say what you need to say, because one day you won't get the chance to ever again. And that's all we got to say about that.